I'm Josh Meyer, Mount Lebanon Building Inspector. Today I'm going to show you how to use our new resident online portal to submit for permit applications, submit complaints, and request inspections online. Okay, first I'm going to show you how to get to our new online portal system through our website, mountlebanon.org. If you go to mountlebanon.org, up in the upper left-hand corner here, you'll see the two bars for the menu. Click on that, scroll down to Departments, and navigate yourself to the Inspections, Permits, and Zoning page. Once you get to the Zoning, Inspections, and Permitting page, you'll scroll down. There's two ways here you can get to the online portal. If you see here under related content, you can see apply for a permit online. There's a quick link. Or you can scroll down just a little bit farther and you'll see here new online permit applications, and there'll be a link to my Lebo, which will bring you to this page. And you'll scroll down here to the very bottom and you'll see Inspections Department permits. It's where you can apply for permits, submit drawings for review, request inspections, submit complaints, and track your submissions online. And then you can click apply here. You will need an account for both My Lebo and for your online portal system. They can be the same account. You will have to create them separately. When you get to the online portal page, this is what it looks like. This is your main page here. I'm going to walk you through right now on how to apply for a permit. So once you get to your main page here, first you want to look in the upper right hand corner to ensure that you're logged in. You can see I'm logged in here. To apply for a permit, you're going to click on the button here, Inspections Department. And you're going to choose whether it's commercial or residential. In most cases, this would be a residential project. For this example, let's pretend we're applying for a driveway permit. So you're going to navigate here. You're going to hit select on the proper permit that you want to apply for. And it's going to bring you to this page. A little bit of information here. There is a hyperlink here that will take you to, in this case, these are the handouts with a checklist of items. I'll click on that. And this will bring you some general information for applying for driveway permits. This is the information we need along with some general regulations of driveways. That's good information to have before you apply. So we'll go back to our screen here to apply for a permit. You're going to type in your description, new driveway. Forgive me, let me try that again. New driveway. Type in the square footage, approximate square footage, let's just say 400 square feet. And this is a test site. There is actually a bar right here for the estimated project cost. We are working through a few bugs. But in this estimated project cost, you'll type in here before you move on. These are anything with an asterisk next to it is required information before you move on to the next page. So once you get all your information entered in this screen, you're going to click Next in the bottom right-hand corner. Then you're going to search for the property. In this case, we have a test parcel, 123 Fake Street. We're going to add 123 Fake Street. Confirm that this is the currently added property, 123 Fake Street. We're going to click Next. The next section is for adding all contacts for the property. Over here, this will automatically bring in any contacts that were on that property. As far as, in this case, this is a test parcel. There's a lot of owners. But it'll automatically bring in the property owner. And then if you are a contractor, an architect, a designer of some sort, you can add your own information. But it's also very important to ensure that the homeowner's email address is included with their contact information. This is to be ensured that everyone involved with this project can receive the notifications for any status changes on the project. So in this case, let's look for myself. It was add myself as a contractor rather than an owner. There I am. Let me make this less generalized. You're going to search for your name. If it pops up, you're going to add it by hitting selected here. I was already added here. If you search for your name first and someone does not pop up, you can come up here to the upper right where it says create a contact and actually enter your contact information. Once you get all your contacts entered, you're going to go to the bottom right corner and click next. This will bring you to the page where you're going to upload your document information. So in this case, for a driveway, we need construction drawings, a description of work, an updated property survey. And notice the asterisks, these two are required to move forward, and this is an optional. So if you are over 500 square feet and require stormwater management in this case, you would enter the stormwater management information here. So to do so, you're going to come up to this gray bar. If you have a second window open, you can either drag and drop into this gray bar, or you can click on the gray bar and it will bring up a window to add in your information. So I already have some here. We're going to do this. Property survey. Oh, excuse me, it's only two of these. And then once you get your information uploaded here, you're going to assign it to the particular entity that it is. So in case of construction drawings here, you'll click this drop-down menu, and this was my construction drawings. And then your property survey here, you're going to click on property survey here. And then once you click next, it's going to rename them on our end as construction drawings or property survey, that everything is tracked appropriately. So once you get all your information assigned to their particular lines here, you're going to click next in the bottom right hand corner. And this will take you to where you're providing your digital signature that you are in fact a representative of the homeowner or the homeowner applying for a permit, and you'll digitally sign exactly as it shows. In this case, mine is all caps. I have to remember that. Remember to sign exactly as it shows, and then in the bottom right hand corner, click next. This is just some general information that will pop up every time, typically review times, notification that everything can be tracked through this online portal. If we need information, we'll contact you via email, the online portal, or by phone. You can go down through this. This will come up on every permit you apply for. It's just some general information about the system and our process. So once you read this, go click next in the bottom right hand corner. This is your last review page. So all these drop-down menus will show what we're applying for here. So we're applying for a driveway permit. Here's your contacts who are involved. Remember, this is a test parcel under Fake Street, which had a lot of contacts on it. Ensure that the property is correct, 123 Fake Street in this case. And then ensure the documents that are uploaded appropriately are there. And then very important here, this checkbox, notify me about changes to my application via email. When this checkbox is checked, you will get a notification from the system anytime we change anything within that entity. So when the status comes over for us, once you submit, it's going to show that it was submitted but not necessarily pending. As soon as we review that information and it can go into our queue for review, you'll get an update from the system saying that we've changed the status to pending. Again, that is a notification that we reviewed it and everything's good that you have uploaded and it is in the queue for review. So we take things first come, first serve. We review them in the order which we get them. And once everything comes over digitally, we will review that to ensure that all the right information is there. And then we will change the status and you'll get a notification. So once you review all that information there, you're going to click submit. And it'll bring you to this page here. This is your general overview of that submitted application. So up here in the center in the upper, you're on this application. You're submitted for a driveway parking pad permit. It gave it this application number. Here's general information about your application, including the date. Today is the 30th. It went in today. Address. And remember I said here's your submitted status. It is submitted at this point, but not necessarily reviewed for pending at this point. Usually we'll review those the same day, and then change that status to pending, and then you will get notification once we've reviewed that initial submitted information. Again, our review for the initial submitted information is just to ensure that you've uploaded the correct documentation to move forward in the process. So once you review all this, let me show you how and where that will show up. It will show up in your dashboard. You saw a brief view of it there, but if you're on your main screen, there's two ways to get to your dashboard. Up here in the upper left, or right here on this tab button, you can click either, and it'll bring up your main dashboard. In this case, this test parcel has a number of applications submitted, but that one we just submitted right here, you'll see says submitted. This is that driveway permit we just submitted. I will show you a little more about your dashboards here shortly, but that in general is how you apply for a permit through the new online system. Next, I'm going to show you how to request an inspection through the portal. So once you get to your main page, you're going to go down here and find this button that says Request Inspection. You'll click that. It's going to bring up this window. First on this window, you're going to select the permit you want to request an inspection for. So let's go for this test application here for our purposes of our testing our system. And then you're going to select the type of inspection. In this case, this pops up as a base or placement inspection, as if this was a retaining wall permit. You'll add the site contact info. Maybe add in some sort of description of what you want them to look at, particularly if there's anything of special nature about this, or you can just leave that blank. Again, this checkbox, notify me. If you have this box checked, you'll get notified anytime we change anything within that particular entity. In this case, it would be the inspection. You want that checked to make sure you're notified via email. And then you're going to come down here at the bottom, click this line. It's going to bring up a calendar, and say we want to request this for tomorrow. You'll click on that for tomorrow, and then you can click Request. And you've successfully requested an inspection. Now, the inspection is just a request. If for some reason we cannot make it that day because we're full, too busy, something of that nature, Diane from my office will reach out to either confirm or offer a second suggestion of an open time. But for the most part, we just need 24 hours notice, and we can accommodate most inspections for most days. But for some reason, if something comes in too heavily through the request system, we will confirm before we actually schedule. So once you request, the key information is we will confirm to ensure that we can meet that inspection date and time. So to look at that again in your dashboard, if you go to your dashboard, if you come down here to inspections, upcoming inspections right here, you'll see that there's 11 pending, but in this case, we've just requested this base placement inspection. If you click on that, you can open it. It'll take you to the actual inspection page. For tracking purposes, the inspection is pending. It was requested on the 1st, and it was requested by Josh here. And like I said, if we confirm that, you will be confirmed on that date that request is okay to meet then. That is general how to request an inspection. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to submit a complaint through the portal. If you come to your main screen, there's a button right here for Submit a Complaint. You'll click that. So maybe you see something on a property, high grass, trash, something of that nature, and you want to report it to us to check it out if it violates one of our ordinances. So you'll bring to this main screen here, and if you scroll down, you'll see there's a number of different generalized complaints that you can submit. So in this case, let's just go to a general property maintenance. And it's going to take you to the map screen where you can search for that property. So for our demonstration purposes here, we have 123 Fake Street. We'll search that. You're going to select that property. You're going to provide a description of what you see. In this case, property needs attention. Whoops. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to click Next. And then it's going to take you to the page where you're going to upload some information. So we do request, at minimum, with this asterisk, you need to provide us some sort of photo of what we're looking for. To do that, to upload that, you're going to go to this gray bar. You can click here. You can find your photo. Or if you have a second window open, you can drag and drop into this gray bar. It will do the same thing. And then you're going to assign that photo to one of these lines. And then once you do that, that will assign that photo as the evidence of what the complaint is submitted for, and you're going to come down here and click Next. This page is just the summary page to ensure that we're submitting the correct information. So you submitting a complaint for that this property needs some sort of attention, there's some sort of issue on that property you want us to check out. You're going to make sure that the contacts involved here are the property owner information. You're going to check here to make sure it's the correct property, 123 Fake Street, for our test purposes. And then the last is your documents submitted. In this case, it's a photo of whatever issue it was. And then again, there's this box up here for Notify Me if you want to be notified of the status, and then you're going to click Submit. Now what this will do on our end, it comes over as what we call an issue. It doesn't necessarily get attached to the property immediately. It comes into what we call a dashboard, and it is our running list of items we have to inspect and ensure it is indeed in violation of one of our ordinances. So when it comes over to one of our issues in our dashboard, one of our code enforcement officers will accept that. They'll go inspect that property for the issue you're providing a complaint for. If it is indeed a violation of one of our ordinances, we move that along in our system to what we call a complaint, and that will be an official record on that property. At that point, any contact info of the person who submitted the complaint is removed, therefore can remain anonymous. That way it will not be attached to a particular property. Therefore, all complaints submitted are anonymous before they become record. Once it becomes record of a property, your tracking of the status will disappear because it becomes record and your information is removed from the complaint from the issue before it becomes a complaint in the system. That way you can remain anonymous for submitting. Once you submit your issue, before it becomes a complaint, it'll show up in your dashboard for tracking under issues. So you can see here there's one submitted. It's that property maintenance one we just submitted. The property needs attention. This will show up here as an issue until it becomes a validated complaint within our system. There are two separate entities. So once it becomes a complaint, it will disappear from tracking here under issues for you because we ensure that you remain anonymous. That is generally how you submit a complaint through the online portal system. Okay, and then lastly here, I'm going to show you how you can pay fees and then generalize your dashboard and some general overview of that. So right now the pay fees is not operating properly, but it is coming very soon here. But if you see here, in the upper left corner, you can see pay fees and quick pay. In your case, if you're paying for a permit online, you want to go to the Pay Fees tab. It's going to bring you up to this window. In this window, it's going to show any outstanding fees that need to be paid for a particular permit or several permits even in certain cases. You will select each one of those permits each one of those fees. Those fees will jump from the pick side to the current fees for payment side over here. Then once you select all the fees you're paying for, you're going to come up here and click the Pay Fees button. Forgive me, there's an error because I don't have any fees to select. And then it's going to bring up your window where you can type in your credit card information. You can always stop in our office to pay fees if you have to drop off a check, or we could run your credit card through here, or if you want to pay in cash. So you can pay fees online through the portal. Again, this is temporarily inactive as we finalize some integration with the processor, but the pay fees will be coming very soon. But let's look at our general overview of our dashboard. Click on My Dashboard. It's going to bring it to your page here. General overview here is this is where everything is tracked through the system. You can see here how many applications, any apps, permits, or certificates that are out there, things that have already been finalized through the application process. Here's fees, issues, past inspections, all the way down through any entity within a permit, an inspection, a complaint, any of that information. This is where you're going to track it. So say we just submitted that application for the driveway. We're going to go to Applications. You see here's your driveway application we just submitted today. This is where we're tracking it. And again, this is a test parcel, so you'll see all this information down here for other tests we've done through the system. If you see a status that says Connect, just for your information, Connect also means the same as pending. This is our internal way of tracking where that application was generated. If you see Connect, it means we've reviewed it for your proper documentation, and it is in the queue for review by one of the inspectors. It means the same as pending. Again, that is just a way for us to track where that application was generated, to know it came in through the portal or if someone dropped something off hard copy. Any other information here? So here's fees. If there's any unpaid fees, they'll show up here in your fee tab. Issues are complaints submitted that before they become an official complaint on a property, it becomes an issue in a system. An application that was already reviewed and approved will show up under permits, and the status approved pending payment means it's waiting for payment. If we get to that point where you submit an application, one of the inspectors reviews it, everything checks out, we approve that permit and issue that permit, you'll see an approved for pending payment status, and then you'll also get a notification via email that your permit is ready with the actual fee costs. You can go in the system, or you could stop in here in our office and pay for that permit. Then you'll see that status change from approved pending payment to issued. And that can be here, in this case, our test parcel 123 Fake Street. You can see here there's 2 permits in here, approved pending payment, and they're waiting for payment. Subscriptions is the notify me checkboxes, and you can see that you can unsubscribe here if you're beyond the point of wanting to track that status or that inspection or whatever it might be. But you can see here's a list of items that are, here we go. You can see here's a list of items that are tracked that you will get notifications for under your subscriptions section here. The last little tab here is your upcoming inspections. So you already have all your permits, construction has begun. Now you are tracking the status of your inspections. And you can see here in this particular case for 123 Fake Street, our test parcel, you can see all these outstanding inspections for that particular property. In this case, we scheduled here that base placement inspection earlier in this video. You can see here that it is red because it's outstanding and waiting for a status. All these other inspections. Additionally, you can request inspections through your dashboard tab, and that you can actually just go to your inspection here, click request, and it will bring up the same window that we've seen before for requesting inspections. This is a general overview of the dashboard and where information is tracked through the online portal. Feel free to log in, use it, submit online, and if you have any questions whatsoever about anything, you can always call our office at 412-343-3408, and we will help you guide through any questions you might have through the online portal system. One thing to always remember is up here you'll see this envelope with the number 5. These are new notifications. This is anything that we've touched, changed the status, any entity within the system. These are your notify me checkboxes. These are where they'll show up with some information for you, basically like a chat or like an email. This is your notification window. Other than that, that's our general overview of our dashboards and our online portal system. Again, if you have any questions, please just call our office and we can guide you through using the system.